Thank you, Hugh, and welcome to the City Grounders. For the first time in nearly 8 years, Leicester make the 25-mile journey north to renew their acquaintance with their East Midlands rivals. Whilst the chief antipathy in this part of the world is always directed westwards to Derby, the principal targets of the Forest ire, this is the match that the Foxes relish most. The rivalry is more than a century old. Hard to imagine the scene sitting here at that first meeting at this very site back in 1901. That merely whets the appetite and ups the stakes even more when you consider that in recent years their paths have seldom crossed. And as with any instalment of a local rivalry, there's no more important one than the next one. But there's more than mere parochial pride to play for. Since their last meeting, Leicester have won promotion, won the league and won the cup. The target on their back bigger now than ever before. And to the clubs that have spent more than a century chasing the FA Cup, they're the inspiration, the muse for the 8 sides still in the competition, who also long to pen their own unique chapter in the long and varied history. Leicester, the living epitome of the belief that dreams can come true, with May's Wembley triumph completing the full set of major English trophies, an achievement so utterly inconceivable just 6.5 years ago. The task now to ensure that May's moment of ecstasy doesn't become an isolated chapter in the club's cup history, and that the decades-long wait for a place in the final isn't repeated. One taste of glory always whets the appetite for more. But Forest fans will remind you that when it comes to extraordinary overnight success for a provincial East Midlands team, the Foxes don't have the monopoly. Just another local derby? No, not this one. With one sublime, unforgettable strike of the right boot, 2021 became part of Fox's folklore. Their cup defence continues at the home of their fiercest local rivals. But Nottingham Forest have faced the holders 7 times in the past. They've won 5 of them. Will Leicester go the same way? Jed Spence with the first perceptive ball inside the penalty area for Forest in their red shirts and white shorts. Leicester in all blue, making their way forward from right to left. Harvey Barnes runs out of route. There's an early touch for Bryce Samba. Forest have named 10 of the 11 that beat Arsenal in round 3. Samba in goal, Worrell, Cook, McKenna, Spence, Yates, Garner, Lowe, Zinchenko behind Johnson, who'll be in support of Davis. For Leicester, it's Ward in goal, Justin, Amati, Sorenchu and Thomas, Tielemans and Ndidi, Lookman and Barnes wide, and Maddison off Iheanacho. It is Huddersfield at home for the winners, and alongside me, former England international Trevor Sinclair.
Jim, I've already noticed from the flight of the ball there is a lot of wind around, so I think it's going against Nottingham Forest in the first half from right to left as we look at it, and they're going to have to play the long ball over the top. It'll hold up, and I think that's a real option for them. Looking at Leicester, they'll have to try and play a little bit more intricate, play through the lines, try and get a few cross-field balls, maybe third man runs, but it's really intriguing to see how this game's going to go.
Well, even in the Clough-inspired glory days, FA Cup success proved famously enigmatic here. The last triumph in this competition in the late 1950s. Maddison couldn't find a way past the Forest captain Worrell, and recalled to the side today as part of the back 3 alongside Cook and McKenna. And Maddison just been spoken to by the referee. James Maddison far from happy with the quality of that challenge which came in on him, but Paul Tierney's given a free kick, nothing more.
I think that's what you call a reducer from the skipper for Forest. It's a great first touch on his back foot, early touch, got away with it really.
Ball played over the top from that free kick. It's Barnes trying to take on Worrell and get inside the penalty area. Barnes laying it back for Maddison. Into the feet of Harvey Barnes again. Left-footed ball flicked in. Took a deflection on its way through, but Samba was able to make a comfortable catch. And it's 0-0 here on TalkSport.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes looked sharp there. 1-on-1 situation. Got the ball onto his right, chopped it onto his left. Tried to put a cross in probably the second 6-yard box area. Took a deflection and went through to Samba, who had good hands to make sure the ball stuck.
Samba with a clearance towards halfway. Tielemans going up for it. It's then returned by a header from Yates out of the Nottingham Forest left. Leicester still in Forest territory as they win it back with Maddison playing it forward. And Steve Cook stepped up from the defensive line. And Forest work it forward quickly down the left-hand side with Lowe, but it'll go All the way through for Danny Ward in the Leicester City goal. Forward from him, Soyuncu. Poor ball from Chala Soyuncu. Looking for Luke Thomas. Spence was there, the young fullback on loan from Middlesbrough. Now finding Brennan Johnson. Johnson with an excellent ball in towards Keenan Davis. Half clear towards Yates on the edge of the penalty area, who was fouled by Maddison. And it's a free kick to Nottingham Forest, about 3 yards outside the box, right of centre.
Yeah, great partnership again between Jed Spence and Johnson. Jed Spence spins his man, gets the ball into Johnson's feet, shows a good turn of pace, gets it onto his right foot on this right hand side and whips in a delicious cross, whereas Keenan Davis just couldn't get there, but it was picked up by a Forest player and he was fouled, and it's a dangerous position to have a free kick about 3 or 4 yards outside the 18-yard box to the right hand side.
Well, there are a few standing over it. Brennan Johnson is having a good look. Ward with his shoulder against the right-hand post as we look at it, just making sure that he's got this 4-man wall in the right place. Johnson looks second favourite at one stage to take it, but I'm sure it will be him that will rifle this in. Zinchenko is just departing the scene. The wind might play a part here as well.
Swirling, I don't even know which way the wind's going.
Brennan Johnson straight into the wall, which was well set up. And then Leicester win the seconds as well to get it clear after a poor touch from Lowe. Hoisted back forward though from Steve Cook. Leicester can clear that out towards Lookman on the right hand side, and now Tielemans will try and turn it round the corner. Forest slide in to win it back. Soyuncu with a header which is well brought down by Garner on loan from Manchester United, and then Davis turns it out to the left hand side where a first time ball in is easily cleared. And Leicester just able to calm things down in the midfield with Kelechi and Acho finding Wilfred and Ndidi. Now Maddison down towards Luke Thomas on the Leicester left. Harvey Barnes making a run forward for him. He's got the better of Worrell again, and he's threaded it through inside the area for Thomas. As it came into Iheanacho, a snapshot from him, which went some way wide. 0-0, 5.5 gone on TalkSport.
Excellent play down this left-hand side between Thomas and Harvey Barnes. Really good link-up. Little third-man run. He pulled it back. Iheanacho just a little bit behind him, and he's probably past that near post. Tried to swing his left foot. It probably got too much purchase on it, and it went harmlessly wide. But really encouraging start down this left-hand side as well for Leicester City.
Those are thoughts of Trevor Sinclair. You're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on TalkSport, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Already brought you Liverpool at home to Cardiff today. A 3-1 victory. A comeback goal for Harvey Elliott as well. Coming up after us, Darren Bent's Boot Room. You can have your say on the weekend's football, and we'll be bringing you regular updates of the 6 p.m. kickoff, Bournemouth against Boreham Wood, and the African Cup of Nations final as well, as Senegal meet Egypt. Remember that the FA Cup draw made earlier today, if you're just joining us, the winners of this one at home to Huddersfield. This place passed across the Leicester back line, which Brennan Johnson almost was able to cut out. Leicester in there, all blue, can bring it forward. Thomas for Barnes. Tielemans now with a bit of room onto his right foot, shape to shoot, and then plays it out wide for Justin. Ball in from him, and Worrell got there. An acrobatic diving header. Samba claiming that he caught that before it went out of play. It was nearer to being in the front row of the crowd than staying in. It will be a corner, Leicester's first of the game.
And I think that's the respect you earn when you're Tielemans and the pitch opens up. You get to about 25 yards and look to take a shot. You bring players out of there, and he put a load of disguise on that, put a little pass out to the right to James Justin. Decent ball in and well defended by Forest.
First corner, 7 gone. Maddison will come across to take it in front of a red corner flag billowing in the stiff breeze. He's played the corner short for Ademola Lookman. Spence very quickly on the scene. And there's a loose ball broke back for Thomas. He just tried to chip it over the top for Maddison. That was another illustration of how difficult the conditions are, because he got it all wrong. And it's out of play for a Forest throw, which Spence wants to take about 25 yards from the corner flag. He's not going to be allowed to. He's been asked to retrace his steps. Throws it short into the feet of Worrell. Spence gets it back in a difficult position, and then did well. Firstly to turn, and then with another throw off Wilfred and Ndidi. Spence again being told by referee Paul Tierney to take the throw from roughly the right place. Worrell across the edge of his own penalty area. Cook using his experience to read an under-hit pass there and get there first. Spence losing out this time to Ndidi. It's the youngster Thomas who plays it forward off Johnson, who is very firmly on Brentford's radar during the transfer window, but no deal done, and he remains a Nottingham Forest player for now. A fine player as well. Lookman losing out. Davis laying it off out to the left-hand side for Lowe. Davis just a little bit too static, and that made it easier for Daniel Amati to step across and win it back. Iheanacho at the target of a ball played forward, didn't get there, and the referee has pulled it back for an earlier foul on James Maddison. No doubting who Nottingham Forest see as the principal potent attacking threat, because Maddison has been in for a rough ride so far. Yeah, well, I mentioned his stats earlier with the amount of goals and the assists that he's got. If he's playing well and he has an influence on the game, Leicester City play well, and they've obviously highlighted that, and every time the ball goes anywhere near him, they're getting physical and they're getting contact. There's no point being passive around him, because he can still produce worldy situations. Excellent ball down the line from Tielemans, and Iheanacho's got it. Barnes has made an excellent run down the left-hand side. Iheanacho still has it towards the edge of the penalty area. Cook held him up a little bit. It's back for Ndidi. Now to Barnes. Reverse ball down the left-hand side of the box. Barnes gets it back from Thomas, but his touch was too heavy, and it drifts out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken away to our left-hand side. Engaging stuff in the opening 10 minutes, Trevor Sinclair. Leicester on the front foot for most of it, but it is still 0-0.
Yeah, it is. It's been really sharp play, intricate play, match tempo from Leicester City going forward. It's just that final ball in the final third. That's where you need to really stay nice and composed and make sure you pull off the right end product, and they're just getting that slightly wrong. I would put credit to Forest, because they're keeping that match tempo. They're not passive, they're getting nice and committed and engaging into the Leicester City players and making sure that they feel their physicality.
Now Lookman's got it, taking on Lowe, and McKenna stuck out her left foot to block the cross and put it behind for a corner, but there were instant recriminations from the Scotsman to the assistant referee, who felt that the ball had gone out of play before that, but it is a corner, and Maddison will go across to take it on the right-hand side for Leicester this time.
Great opportunity, these set pieces, especially in a game which you would imagine is going to be fiercely contested. Can you get a cheap goal from a set piece?
It's played in towards Lookman, right-footed effort from him, deflects away and wide. It was a really well-worked set piece. That was the old England one from the 90s, the near-post ball from Scholes into Sheringham. And on this occasion it was Maddison looking for Lookman, who peeled away towards the edge of the box and wrapped his right foot around it with real ferocity. And he just took a touch on his way past Samba, completely wrong-footed, but it goes wide for another corner. Maddison will take this latest one, again over on the Leicester City right-hand side. 11 gone at 0-0. Plenty of air underneath it. Headed back towards the edge of the penalty area by one of the Forest defenders. It was Yates, I think, that got a touch to it. Spence is trying to get it away. Helped back in again. And this time it's Worrell that just gets his blonde hair to the ball to divert it out towards the touchline. But back Leicester will come once more. Lookman with a cross that was blocked at source. Forest get it away, just having to hang in there at the moment. As it comes down towards the left-hand touchline, Thomas's passing radar is off kilter again, and this one goes out of play for a throw right down by the Forest corner flag. The Forest is having to weather the storm at the moment.
Yeah,
Leicester already asked more questions of them than Arsenal did in round 3.
Yeah, Barnes is looking sharp. Ademola Lookman have been really impressed with him since he's arrived at Leicester City. He looks sharp, he looks like he wants to affect this game, and he started on the front foot, and he's, I mean, that corner there was straight from the what a finish that is.
Doesn't count, mind. But it was a great finish. It was pinged in from about 40 yards by Lookman, but he'd fouled Garner.
That's just on cue, just so to give him a load of compliments. He has started really well, and he looks like he's not a kid anymore. He's been at several clubs, and he looks like he's found his place where he feels comfortable. And I've got to say, I feel Brendan Rodgers is getting a real song out of him.
Scores on the big occasion as well. Last 2 goals, one against Manchester City, one against Liverpool. Maddison just losing out. Johnson helping it round the corner for Spence. Good movement off the ball comes from Zinkernagel. Spence getting towards the byline, gets it in. Thomas can stop it going out of play for a corner after Amati blocked the initial cross. That's the throw that Nottingham Forest will take on the right-hand side down towards the corner flag. Jim Proudfoot and Trevor Sinclair talking you through the action here at the City Ground. Hugh Wozencroft in the chair, Jason Bourne, our in-stadium producer. Ball headed away from the throw by the Leicester back line. Iheanacho, and play for by Ndidi, but only as far as Worrell. Now McKenna out of the Forest left-hand side, low into a central position for Zinchenko, wearing 11. For the tall, elegant midfielder Garner. Worrell plays it forward again. Layoff comes from Johnson. Spence, victim of a good block challenge from Luke Thomas, and Spence is now out of position. Worrell having to shuffle across as Barnes runs at him and beats him. He's inside the penalty area, rifles it across the face of goal. Lookman slid in and just couldn't get there any touch, and it would have been 1-0 to Leicester.
That's outstanding from Harvey Barnes. You know, he gets the ball, one-on-one situation. You can tell he fancies his chance of beating the defender. He twists Worrell inside out, wrong foots him, gets towards the byline and puts in a vicious cross along the floor, and Iheanacho just can't get there. The ball was won back by Spence. The ball went into Spence, and he's got a one-on-one situation with Luke Thomas. It looks like he's going to lose that ball. I'd like rather him get his body in the way, defend the ball, protect the ball and start again. He lost the block challenge, and from there on in, Leicester are on the front foot. He's got to be careful that he makes good decisions on the ball there, Jed Spence.
Leicester City made the brighter start of the two sides with 15 minutes on the clock, and another free kick now, which is about 20 yards outside the Forest penalty area. Thomas is going across to join Maddison to stand over this. It could be a left-footed in-swinging delivery from Thomas, or in more likelihood a right-footed away swinger from Maddison. Yes, with the aerial contingent forward. Forest keeping a high line on the edge of the penalty area until the ball is played in. Yates can head it away. Garner going up for it, couldn't get a touch. Lookman diverting it back for Wilfred Ndidi. And then Justin receiving the ball, plays it wide for Maddison again. Out towards Kelechi Iheanacho. Iheanacho not too far in for the right-hand touchline. Good movement from Yuri Tielemans, and he's played it down towards the Belgian, who's then judged to have been fouled by the retreating Zinchenko. And a free kick goes Leicester's way in a much better position. This one only about 9 or 10 yards from the corner flag, and it's predominantly over towards the right-hand touchline, but it's a really nice angle to try and find an aerial target here. Yeah,
I thought Tielemans showed him too much of the ball, but maybe he just stepped across it as the challenge came in, and the challenge went into the side of him, because the linesman must be only 10 yards away from the incident. So he's won the foul. It's a dangerous position. Let's see if we can get the quality.
Nobody inside the 6-yard box with the exception of Samba. Kelvin Davis is back to Keenan Davis, I beg your pardon, is back to be the man to try and get his head on it. Man for man marking elsewhere by and large. Good goalkeeping from Samba, came out, punched it clear, flicked back by Thomas. Forrest might be able to break. Tielemans makes sure that they can't, but all he does is whack it forward and it drifts innocuously out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Samba away to the left-hand side. It's been some weekend of live sport here on the TalkSport network. So many engaging stories and thrills and spills in the FA Cup. And starting on Friday night with Manchester United's exit at home to Middlesbrough. Kidderminster's coming so close to knocking West Ham out yesterday. And then the boxing last night as well, which was enthralling. On my drive north from Tottenham last night. A great win for Chris Eubank Jr.
Wow, stunning, wasn't it?
Brilliant start for him. Great coverage as well. More live boxing coming your way in a fortnight's time. Amir Khan against Kell Brook on Saturday, the 19th of February.
Little bit of rivalry there.
Just a little bit. You won't hear it anywhere else. It is live on TalkSport. And there's certainly a date for your diary, Bill. It starts at 7:30 for that one. Throw which will be taken by Jed Spence here for Forest, and the free kick quickly transpires as Ryan Yates is fouled, and Maddison is cutting quite an angry figure so far. He has been fouled a few times himself, given a couple of free kicks away. Worrell just having a word with the referee, and Madison's just got to make sure that he doesn't let the red mist descend.
Yeah, I'm quite right as well. I don't know why Paul Tierney wants to speak to Yates, because Yates won the free kick. He used his body really well to protect the ball, won the free kick from Ndidi, and then he wanted to put the ball down and play, and the Leicester City players have stood over the ball. You know, they've got to move back, so if anyone that Paul Tierney should be speaking to, it's Madison saying step away from the ball or you'll get booked.
We'll get an update from the rugby very shortly. First of all, though, this Nottingham Forest free kick. Swung in by Garner, deep towards the back post, heading down. Worrell couldn't quite get there. Barnes, crucially, got his head to it before Zinkernagel did inside the area. Thomas tries to clear, and Davis with a snapshot has hit the junction of post and bar. It just sat up nicely for him, and he hit it with the outside of his left foot, screwing towards the top left-hand corner. And he was about 4 inches away from giving Nottingham Forest the lead.
What a view we had of that, Jim. Brilliant strength additionally by Keenan Davis. He used his chest, he used his strength to hold off the defender. First time chest, second touch was a volley which almost stuck inside the angle of the left corner, the left crossbar and post, and just shattered the crossbar. It was unbelievable strike, really good technical effort.
Well, he's been in really good form, led the line so well in the cup tie here against Arsenal on his debut. He scored against Barnsley and Cardiff in his last 2 matches, Keenan Davis, and he almost made it 3 in a row there. Breaking forward now, Leicester City have it with Harvey Barnes on the edge of the Forest penalty area, and Ndidi, Worrell, just made sure that Luke Thomas couldn't turn. Leicester do win it back, but in a much deeper position. And Ndidi going back for Daniel Amati. Justin to his right hand side, Sointu to his left, and he plays it back towards James Justin, and now Sointu will have it once more. Thomas trying to turn, Spence puts it out of play for a throw. It is Joe Worrell in possession for Nottingham Forest here at the City Ground, where it is 0-0. Leicester marginally the better side so far, but Forest have come much the closest with a brilliant shot from Davis which hit the junction of post and bar. Leicester in possession again. Chips inside the penalty area for the run of Ndidi from a deeper position. Worrell dealt with that. Iheanacho back for Madison. Madison past Tielemans out towards James Justin. Back it comes for Tielemans again. Davis putting the pressure on. Brendan Rodgers thought that was a foul. Tielemans did as well, but play goes on. Leicester have still got it. Sointu laying it back for Daniel Amati. Lookman making a run ahead of him. Tries to play it in towards Iheanacho on the edge of the penalty area instead. He couldn't bring it under control. Forest will be able to bring it away with Davis. Skips away from the challenge of Ndidi. Couldn't beat James Justin. And Garner tries to shepherd the ball out of play for a throw and has managed to do exactly that. Really good cup tie though. 21 gone on TalkSport. It's Forest 0, Leicester 0.
I'm really impressed with Leicester and the way they've pressed. You know, you see a lot of teams pressing and it's a little bit passive, it's a little bit slow. You can sense that Brendan Rodgers said when you go and press, you commit, you get engaged, you get in contact, you get physical and you get something on the ball, and that's exactly what these Leicester City players are doing, and they're almost forcing the Forest defenders into mistakes, and they almost can't get out of their own half at the moment.
Steve Cook, lovely touch from Johnson, just flicked round the corner, perfect feathered layoff. Zinkernagel then chips it forward out towards the right hand side of the area for Spence. His control let him down, but he hasn't lost possession as a result of that. Johnson will take over, stands it up towards the far post. Davis heading it down. Zinkernagel gives Nottingham Forest the lead. Euphoric celebration all around us. Red flares thrown onto the pitch. Delight for Nottingham, frustration for Leicester. It is Forest firing themselves towards the 5th round. Brilliant play by Johnson, headed down by Davis. Zinkernagel had the easy bit to do. It's Forest 1, Leicester 0. They knocked Arsenal out when they were the cup holders a few years back. They lead the cup holders here.
Look at the limbs, look at the flares. This place has just erupted. What a goal that was. You know, Jed Spence couldn't quite control the ball. He had to turn out and recycle the ball. He played the ball back to Johnson. Johnson's choice of cross was outstanding. It's windy. He's clipped a little drive, a little 6-iron towards the far post. Davis has got his head to it first, headed it into the centre, and Zinkernagel's run onto it. It's almost kneed him with the side of his knee or the side of his hip, just the way the ball landed. The goalkeeper had no chance. This is going to be some FA Cup tie.
Danish midfielder on loan from Watford with his 5th goal for Forest, who lead Leicester 1-0. Leicester have had the majority of possession. Forest have the lead. They might double it. Johnson! Yes! It's 2-2 in a minute and a half. Terrible defensive work by Leicester City. Ward kicks the post in frustration. Johnson just ended up with a ball at his feet. He had to keep his nerve on his head, and he rolled it past the goalkeeper into the near post. Forest 2, cup holders Leicester City 0.
What an impact Johnson's had in this game. He's just had an assist of assist for the first goal, which was superbly headed down by Davis and finished by Zinkelman. The ball just landed at his feet. He showed unbelievable composure. It looked like he stood the goalkeeper up. All of a sudden he finds a little space and side puts it past him. Brilliant finish. 2-0 Forest. They have got some work to do, Leicester City.
Zinkernagel on 23, Johnson on 24. The way that Leicester City is set up these days, and with the way their season has gone, they won't have made the short journey north of this part of the East Midlands expecting that they were going to go through and keep a clean sheet in the process.
Yeah.
But 2 down just past the midway stage of the first half leaves them with so much work to do.
Yeah, I've just seen a little coming together there. Madison, as he played the ball, Zinkernagel left a little bit on him. I think if he would have been in booting distance, Madison would have booted him. He seen red mist, he stood up and ran after him. He's confronted Zinkernagel, and the referees come involved. You can see that the Forest players think that if each of them leave a little bit on Madison, his head will go, and he's had a little bite there. Be interested to see how that situation develops.
Well, we mentioned it about 5 or 6 minutes ago when it was still 0-0 that there was a danger of the red mist descending. It just seemed as though it was going to.
I mean, it's a ridiculous back pass, I've got to be honest. You know, take responsibility on the ball for that goal that that Johnson just scored. You know, you're not sure what's around you. You don't know if the ball's going to get to Ward. Do not play it. Put it out for a throw-in and defend that situation. Really poor play, I've got to say, from James Justin.
Well, the cup holders have got a huge amount of work to do here. They've got a little over an hour to do it, but they're 2-0 down. Soinchu.
What a game.
What a weekend. What a competition this is. James Justin bringing it forward.
Never fails, does it, the FA Cup?
Seldom, and it's so nice to see. I know that this is a local derby, so you would expect it to be sold out. So nice to see the atmosphere, the fans returning in their droves to matches in this great competition.
Massively different sport, isn't it, Jim, when the fans are in here? The atmosphere, look at them, absolutely soaking this up.
It just feels as though the FA Cup has gone through its malaise and is back out the other side now.
And we love it.
Don't we just? Here's James Justin playing it forward. Barnes trying to get in there. Worrell has got there first and heads it back to his goalkeeper. Samba able to pick it up. And then Trot in his all-white goalkeeping garb towards the edge of the penalty area.
That's the second time Worrell's made a head of the ball, but made it look a little bit lively. You know, when your goalkeeper, he's got a simple save to make, and he does a little dive for the cameras. I think Worrell's got that in his locker.
Or is it just the you see, that's you looking at it from an ex-pro's point of view, and me surmising what he's got. I thought as Soinchu pushes Johnson to the ground here right in front of the assistant referee, and it's a free kick and a yellow card, I would imagine. I thought he's going to get away with it. It's just going to be a free kick.
That's a poor challenge. That he had no chance of getting the ball. The ball's very difficult to control for Johnson. It might even go out of play, and it's just red mist from Soinchu. And you know what? I think that's a snapshot into why Brendan Rodgers said what he said. He's looking to refresh the squad. I don't think he's been good enough for Leicester City. Just got a mistake in him. It's rash. There's no need to make that. All of a sudden you've solved these problems. Everyone has to back off 10 yards, and now you've got to defend a very dangerous situation into the box.
I heard someone earlier scurrilously suggesting that Saunch might not get into the Forest side at the moment. There's a free kick that will be taken on the right-hand side by Garner. Swung in deep. Forest looking to make it 3. Cleared out as far as Spence. His ball goes back behind Johnson. Played down towards the near side for Garner. Oh, what a touch from Garner. Cushion volley down towards Zinckernagel, right inside of the area. Saunchu turning away inside the box and chips it forward, but straight to Garner again. Spence, face up by Maddison, back in defensive duty. Spence with 3 Leicester players around him, still found Garner. The second time of asking. Zinckernagel trying to battle his way away from Ndidi. Johnson's in there, played a blind ball down towards Spence. Another magnificent pass, and they get a corner out of it.
Make no mistake, this is not going to be an upset. The better team are winning this game. The intensity, the intricate passing around the box, the hunger to get to the first ball, keep moves alive, and the end product. It's been far superior from this Nottingham Forest team. This is not an upset, this is the better team putting their stamp on the game and winning at the moment 2-0.
Forest 2, Leicester 0 it is. Zinckernagel and Johnson, 2 goals in the space of about a minute and a half. And Johnson had a major part to play in Zinckernagle's goal as well. This is Forest's first corner. And Gardner's going to take it from the right-hand side. You can tell that he's had a good footballing education. His vision, just complete lack of panic in any situation, is superb.
Yeah.
Waiting to take the corners, waiting for the match ball. One belatedly got thrown his way with the crowd sitting on the other one, and needless to say, as soon as the replacement ball got sent down towards the quadrant, the original one arrived as well. But they've sorted it out. It's going to be a corner, and a way swinger from Gardner towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it should have been 3. Yates arrived like a train. Great run, poor contact.
Great ball in. He's got to score. He's got to score. He must be, 6 yards, 5-6 yards out.
Johnson almost in. Last ditch challenge stopped him, and it's flicked just wide as Ward made the save, and it looped up in the air and goes just a fraction wide of the post. Leicester City on the ropes. They've taken 2 on the chin, and Forest are trying to supply the knockout punch here.
What a composed finish that was by Zinckernagel. That is a brilliant save by Ward. I was watching him in the warm-up, and he's got great reactions. I thought that was an outstanding save.
Garner to take this second Forest corner, who lead 2-0. In towards the penalty spot, diving header! It's 3! Ecstasy in Nottingham! The red half of this city cannot believe what they're witnessing. Joe Worrell's diving header inside half an hour. Cup holders Leicester City are 3-0 down to a side just outside the top 6 in the Championship. What a story is developing here. Nottingham Forest 3, Leicester City 0. The last 10 minutes, Forest have been sensational.
You mentioned his technique before and how good his vision is and his range of passing. The last 2 crosses that he's put in, Nottingham Forest should have scored 2. They've scored 1. It is an absolutely superb out-swinging dip cross. And I think I spoke about Joe Worrell earlier, saying he makes everything look spectacular. He made that look simple. Right on his head, into the ground, into the corner. 3-0 to Nottingham Forest. I don't know whether Leicester City can survive this and get back for this.
23 years ago today, I was sat about 4 seats away from here, Trev. There were 9 goals that day. Manchester United got 8 of them. Wow. I think it's going to be a slightly better day for Nottingham Forest today than that one was. They have possession over on the far touchline. This has been an epic capitulation though from Leicester City.
This could be, if it wasn't for Ward's save and that ridiculous miss, this could be 5.
It could be 5 in 10 minutes.
It could be 5, yeah.
It is 3. And Forest will bring it forward. It looks as though there's a bit of frustration, understandable frustration, on the faces of those Leicester fans away to our right-hand side. Remember, it's a home tie against Championship opposition for the winners. Lowe will take it down towards the corner flag here. It's a thumping challenge that comes in on him. A fair one though from James Justin. And it's a corner which will be taken on the Nottingham Forest left. They're third. They scored from the last one. Has in fact just gone out of play for a throw over on the far touchline. He has. And just down by that corner flag. It's the other side of the corner flag where the ball went out of play. So the throw taken. Works short into the feet of Keenan Davis. Tielemans trying to clear, gets away from Lowe, pokes it up the right-hand touchline and goes out of play for a Nottingham Forest throw. Let's look at this from a Leicester perspective, Trevor Sinclair. What's gone wrong? How do they remedy it?
Well, they've let Forest get into dangerous situations far too easily. I think you have to give credit to the Forest players. We spoke about Jed Spence before the game. We spoke about Johnson's quality, a young lad coming through the ranks here. I think they've both been brilliant. You look at individual players in the Forest team that have been outstanding. Keenan Davis, his hold-up play, he gets the ball, his link-up play is good, and he gets himself in the office, and he has a strength, he's a real threat in the air, and he's kept things alive. I think you've got round pegs in round holes, and everyone's getting a 9 out of 10 at the moment for Forest, and Leicester can't handle it. It's as simple as that.
Well, if you're not getting a 9 for Forest, you're probably getting a 10. Here's Spence, heading it through towards Johnson, who's in that category. He's been brilliant. Ball played over the top here by Luke Thomas. McKenna heading it away from Iheanacho, and the breeze did Leicester no favours there. Lookman down towards James Justin. Back he comes for Yuri Tielemans. Now played down the right-hand touchline, but just straight out of play. And Leicester as an attacking unit aren't cohesive. Defensively, they're even worse. It is a Leicester back line. In the league this season, have conceded 37 goals in 20 games. Now, an average of nearly 2 goals a game.
Too many.
Major problem.
And that's a huge problem when that part of the team, when that unit, that defensive unit, and you can't just blame it on the defence because everyone play the part, the ball's into the forwards. Can you either stop that at source, or can you get a shield in front of them? They don't seem to know what they're wanting to do, and at the moment they're not doing neither, and it's too easy to create opportunities against them.
Samba clears his lines. Nottingham Forest leading by 3-0. 3 goals in 9 minutes from Zinkernagel, Johnson and Worrell. And Joe Worrell, only his 4th goal in 161 appearances for the club.
The problem that Leicester have got now is that every Forest player wants the ball. The tails are up, they're confident, and they'll be nice and calm. They've got 3 goals to hang on to, so they'll all have discipline out of possession and do the right things, but in possession they'll want a piece of the action and they'll want a piece of the glory with goals.
Leicester have seen their away form drop off considerably over the course of this season. They've only had a couple of away wins in the Premier League so far, winning at Norwich and Brentford, as Worrell wins a free kick on this near touchline. That was after a very impressive away record in the last campaign. Forest have lost as many as they've won here over the course of the season as a whole, but the results have improved so much under Steve Cooper. And remember, they were bottom when he took charge. 4 points from the first 8 games, but the season started when he was appointed. They would be 3rd. Ball played forward towards Davis. Sointu tried to head it down. Davis couldn't wriggle in, and Marty knocks it away, and it's out of play for another corner.
Keenan Davis has got no respect for Sointu or Amati. He is bullying them all over the place. He's stronger, he looks to be smarter, he's winning little duels, and when the ball's in there he finds a solution quicker than the defenders, and he's having a field day. He must be really enjoying this.
Garner comes across to take this latest Nottingham Forest corner, which is their 3rd. Yates making a run into the middle. Steve Cook is in there as well. Cook has pushed Sointu, and the free kick is given Leicester's way.
It's a let-off. It's a let-off because them balls are delicious. They've got a lot of Louis on them, and they're going into the area that you don't want balls going into when you're defending your 6-yard box.
A lot of Louis. I'm only asking because my dad will be listening and he will ask me later, and it'll be easier if you explained it.
It's
rather
curl
than...
and dip, we call it a bit of Louis. I don't know why. Someone please ring in and tell us.
Here's Thomas back for Sointu. Back to Luke Thomas again. Down the left hand touchline for James Maddison, and it's come off Spence and gone out of play. Madison's just pushed him. So much to think about over the course of this weekend, from a brilliant FA Cup 4th round. And you can say tomorrow morning on TalkSport Breakfast with plenty of reaction. Laura Woods with Ali McCoist and former Spurs midfielder Jamie O'Hara. Real heavyweight show tomorrow. We've got Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul and Katie Taylor live in the studio as well. So TalkSport Breakfast tomorrow morning. And don't forget the week's live football, the best around the grounds coverage comes your way on Tuesday and Wednesday night, including on Wednesday Steve Bruce's first game in charge of West Bromwich Albion.
Interesting there, just seeing a little mid-block from the Forest players, and you can tell a team when they're coached well because they're in their shape, they're in the formation that the manager wants them in, and as the ball gets played forward to a player that they need to engage, they're straight on it. You can see them releasing themselves. It's almost like a little trigger, off you go.
Zinchenko finding Davis to Jed Spence. Ward saves with his legs. Another shot on target from Forest. Garner on the right-hand touchline, finding Yates, Zinchenko, Davis, and Didi cutting out the latest through ball. Yates might be able to get there ahead of Luke Thomas. He can clear it. Layoff from Barnes. A little confrontation off the ball between Barnes and Worrell. Play goes on. Samba's come miles out of his goal, and Iheanacho has made the most of it and scores. And that's just completely out of nothing. Samba has had precious little to do. Was 10 yards outside his penalty area. Iheanacho outpaced the Forest defender. Got there ahead of Samba, flicked his left foot to it. That is a quite brilliant finish from the Nigerian, and it's the merest hit of a lifeline for Leicester. This astonishing afternoon sees a 4th goal. It's Forest 3, Leicester 1.
Well, I've got to say, I have to applaud that pass from James Maddison. It was absolutely delicious. Outside of his right foot, you could see that Kalichi was onside. He's played the ball down the left-hand channel, just into the right space. I don't know what the goalkeeper's doing, Bryce Samba. He's in no man's land. It's a nice little touch around the goalkeeper from Iheanacho, and then it's a really quick finish. He's not got any time to waste. He has to get his shot away first time after he's took the keeper on. He does that, and it goes into the empty goal from about 30 yards on the wing. Big mistake there from Bryce Samba. He'll be regretting that, because it certainly does give Leicester a lifeline and a little bit of belief that they can get back into this game.
Well, it was a tremendous finish because he had to go first time, really. He was slightly off balance.
Pressure. Yeah, his pressure as well.
A long way out. The angle, not prohibitively tight, but it was a really good finish.
With his left foot as well, superb.
Yeah, a player who's only scored 4 goals this season prior to today. So 3-1. And just the merest hint for Leicester that this might not be all over. Maddison back down the left-hand touchline for Thomas. Help round the corner. Barnes and himself sandwiched between Spence and Worrell, but it's a free kick. Leicester hoping for a quick double strike. Maddison over this free kick. Oh, that's really poor under the circumstances because he swung it straight over the bar. Everybody had gone forward to attack it. I think that he saw that Samba possibly was expecting the cross and his starting position might be a couple of yards off his line. He tried to deceive him, but he put too much on it and just whipped it straight over. Yeah,
it's a good ploy, especially if you feel that Bryce Samba's going to try and anticipate the cross and affect any of his teammates getting on the end of it. But what you must do is allow for the wind. I don't think he's done that, and obviously he's got it slightly wrong and it's gone over the bar. It's a let-off that from Forest.
Nottingham Forest 3, Leicester City 1, coming up to half-time here on TalkSport. And Marty plays it forward, low, sliding. It's come off the top of his left foot. McKenna tries to head it away, but Tielemans can pick it up. Just that little bit of self-belief back for Leicester by the look of it from the Iheanacho goal. They didn't know where to turn or look when they conceded those 3 goals in a 9-minute spell, but they've just found some composure again latterly.
I think they've executed their formation a lot better than what Leicester City have. You know, the 3-4-3 that Forest have started with. I'm surprised that Brendan's not matched it up and said, listen, you win your individual battles all over the pitch, we'll win the match. And I think the shape's gone against Brendan Rodgers today, and Steve Cooper's almost outwitted him.
Maddison plays it back to Daniel Amati. Optimistic cheers from the travelling Leicester supporters away to our right. Indeed, playing it forward here for Maddison, who's just drifted back inside his own half of the centre circle to play in Soinchu. Now to Daniel Amati. Marty to Lookman. Iheanacho, back for Lookman again. Tielemans. Lookman taking it on and then running on towards the edge of the penalty area as Iheanacho lays it off for Thomas. Maddison chipped over the top, good movement off the ball, but couldn't get the flick that they wanted. James Justin made a really good run from right back. I mean, he busted the gut to get there, but Iheanacho couldn't get the top of his head to it to flick it into his path. Samba will be able to pick it up, and he's just trying to run the clock down with a little over a minute plus stoppage time to go in this pulsating first half, which sees Forest League Cup holders Leicester by 3-1.
Bryce Samba will be going in that changing room apologising to everyone, the coaches, the manager and his teammates, because that was just a ridiculously crazy situation he found himself in, and he ended up conceding and letting Leicester have a lifeline back into this match.
Thomas back for Sointu on the edge of his own penalty area. Leicester don't have a good record in league games this season when they've conceded first. They've only won 1 out of 10. They did also come back against Spartak Moscow in Europe. Samba comes to the edge of his own penalty area as we go to 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Steve Cook, who's got a wonderful passing radar on him, playing it forward. There's a shove though from Davis on Justin. Forest thought they'd won a corner, but they have instead conceded a free kick that Danny Ward will take.
Not sure he's got that one right either. I've got to say, Paul Tierney, the referee today, he's had a few calls to make, and I think that's another one that he's got wrong. We've seen a little bit of inconsistency. Sointu pushing his way through the back of a player earlier. The same thing happened for a Forest player pushing through a Leicester player, and he's pulled out the yellow card for Jed Spence. There's got to be consistency. I've not seen that today, I've got to be honest.
Header from McKenna, turn forward. Davis chasing after it, but play forced to stop because it was a heavy fall for McKenna, and there are worries that this is a potentially severe head injury, so straight away Paul Tierney stopping play so he can be attended.
Yeah, good shout from the referee there, I've got to say.
Oh, it's not McKenna, right? I beg your pardon. Oh, a crowd of players down there on the floor, but I can see McKenna. It is, yeah, you're right, Jimmy Garner who's down there.
He's influenced this game, hasn't he, with his range of passing and his calmness on the ball. For a young man, I think he's been exceptional. This is a good footballing side, you know. Steve Cooper's got them playing a really attractive style of football. At times when they have to sit in, they'll sit in, and they've got the discipline and the work rate and stay on the feet, and they move across the pitch laterally, you know, to stop the gaps. But they're not on the break. They are electric, and they've got real talent going forward. And, you know, as a focal point, Keenan Davis, when you look at it, you might think they're missing the top goal scorer, but I think it might have just fell into their hands that he's injured or not available, and Keenan Davis has been a real thorn in this Leicester City defence.
Yannick Vestergaard has been out warming up for Leicester, but he's just making his way disconsolately back to the dugout in front of us. Leicester restarting play. A few of the Forest fans thought that ball should be given back to them. Maddison has possession, taking on Yates, who shows him inside, finding Tielemans looking for Lookman, well cut out though by the retreating Garner. Sointu beating Johnson to it on halfway. Now Maddison past Yates, very cleverly done, but Forest repel them again on the edge of their own penalty area. Johnson almost able just to tuck it around the corner for Lowe. Here's Garner forward for Lowe, and over halfway again for Forest, who will try and restore their 3-goal advantage late in this first half. 3-1 the lead. Zinchenko just exchanging passes again with Garner. Garner taking it back inside his own half, just managing the situation with only about 90 seconds of this first half remaining. Just a question of keeping possession, keeping the 2-goal lead intact going into half-time. Davis battling, giving Sointu a little shove before the ball got to either of them. Cook then beating Maddison, who's gone down holding the back of his head. Leicester turn over possession. Maddison's back on his feet very quickly. Home crowd didn't like that. Lowe does well to intercept, and then Zinchenko plays it forward. Davis, though, rightly flagged offside, and Leicester have a free kick. No time to take it. And that is a magnificent first 45 minutes of FA Cup action. Some local derby this. Cup holders Leicester in desperate trouble at the break. It could have been worse, but for Iheanacho supplying a lifeline after a rush of blood to the head from Bryce Samba. But 3 goals in 9 minutes have given Forest a commanding lead. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 3, Leicester City 1. Well, I'll surprise you that there's only one at this moment, and it is Patson Daka coming on for Harvey Barnes. I'm most surprised on the basis that Vestergaard and Dewsbury Hall were both having a pretty extensive warm-up along with Daka at the end of that first half and in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the half-time interval. But just the one change for now, Trevor Sinclair. Yeah, James Justin's come off. They've changed the shape. They're now matching up the Forest formation. Doesn't surprise me. James Justin had an absolute nightmare with that back pass. It's not the fact that he made the back pass, it's the fact that he didn't take responsibility in that situation. As a defender, you have to be 100% sure that that ball's going to get there, or turn around and kick out for a throw-in. He didn't do that, and that's why I feel that he's made that change. He's matching them up. There'll be a lot of players there that have been told you're playing for your future at Leicester City. So James Justin has gone to left wing back. Thomas is playing on the left of 3 centre-halves with Soinchu and Amati. Lookman is playing at right wing back for Leicester. And we are back underway. Leicester in all blue, kicking from left to right. Forest red shirts, white shorts. I'll run through the two teams for you in a moment, as Forest win a throw over on the far side, which gives me an opportunity to do it now. Samba in goal, Worrell, Cook and McKenna, Spence, Yates, Garner and Lowe, and then Zinkernagel with Johnson and Davis the furthest forward up front. Leicester, Ward in goal, Amati, Soinchu and Thomas, now 3 centre-halves. Lookman on the right-hand side, Justin is on the left, and Didi, Tielemans, Maddison and Iheanacho just dropping that little bit deeper, and Daka is the most advanced for Leicester City. Forrest bringing it forward with Zinkernagel, but he's conceded the throw. So 3-1 at 3-0, it would have been very different, but 3-1, you just never know. Maybe it's the old cynic in me, but it's a dangerous scoreline. It's not one yet. No, of course not. It's a dangerous scoreline. They shouldn't be in that position because they earned the right and they created enough chances and they were professional enough to be in a 3-goal lead. It's just an individual mistake from the goalkeeper has given Leicester City just a glimmer of hope in this game. Well, you're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on Talk Sports thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. 3-1 the scoreline. Leicester in possession. Justin trying to get on the end of a through ball, but Steve Cook steps up from the defensive line to win it back and now be able to work it forward towards Zinkernagel, and Didi trying to hold his progress, couldn't do so by fair means or foul. He's played it towards Johnson, shot takes a deflection, spins wide, and Forest have the first corner of the second half. Trevor Sinclair. Yeah, good play again. Broke to Zinkernagel. He moves really well with the ball. He picks out the right pass. He's looking to thread it inside the 2 centre-halves between them. The space is not there. I think it was Spence. He checked out to the right to make sure that he's at that option, that passing lane to him. Good weight of pass, and it's a good strike which is deflected for a corner. But again, positive start from Forest in the second half. Those are thoughts of former England World Cup player Trevor Sinclair alongside me, Jim Proudfoot at the City Ground. 48 on the clock. It's 3-1 to Forest. In comes the corner, swung in towards the edge of the 6-yard box off the top of Iheanacho's head, back in from Zinkernagel and turned innocuously away. McKenna tried to get in there, claiming that he was fouled, nothing given, and play will stop because he's gone down with a head injury inside the 6-yard box. I think it's going to be okay. He is sitting back up again, McKenna, but he went out for it. Ward got something on it and probably got a little bit on McKenna in the process as well. Yeah, good goalkeeping from Dana Ward again. You know, if it wasn't for him in the first half, it could have been a lot worse for Leicester City. Listen, he had no chance for the goals. It was a good build-up play, and it was shots that you wouldn't imagine that he could get to, and where he had to have a chance of getting something, he's got there and he made some good saves. As he did there, used his fist, didn't try and smash the life out of the ball, just a quick short jab to get the ball out of the danger zone, and he did that really well. It's the 100th senior game of his career. Danny Ward has been around a lot for 100 games. Hasn't played a Premier League match for thick end of 6 years now, but seen a bit of cup action in that time. Leicester seeing a player go down. It was Justin. He's back on his feet. No foul given. Leicester work it forward again and win a corner. And those Leicester City fans behind that goal of the Bridgeford end away to our right hand side find themselves infused, because they know, having been 3-0 down, if they can score from and get a good set piece and score from that and get it back to 3-2, that all the momentum is with them. Still 40 minutes to go, but the cup holders need 2 without reply. First corner of the second half, swung in by Maddison, came a long way. McKenna did well, got the top of his head to it to knock it away. Down for Soinchu, who was waiting for Zinkenagel's challenge, and he wasn't disappointed. Free kick to Leicester, 2 yards from the right-hand side of the penalty area. And they're making a better fist of it at the start of this second half.
Yeah, Zinkenagel, he's got to be a bit more patient there, a bit more disciplined. As you're running out, as you're sprinting out towards Soinchu there, just start to put the brakes on and start to show him either down the line or inside. He does neither and ends up just clattering into Soinchu and giving a cheap free kick away in a really dangerous position, probably 2 or 3 yards down the side of the 18-yard box, 10 yards from the byline, and this is a really dangerous situation with James Maddison.
So Maddison is the man that's standing over it, and there are 2 in the Forest wall just protecting that near post area. Davis again is the free man to try and head this away, but there's a real crowd scene on the edge of the 6-yard box. Bit of wrestling going on between Ian Acho and Garner. Soinchu stands in what at the moment is an offside position 4 yards from goal. Samba bobbing up and down on his line. Referee Tierney is just telling all of the protagonists to keep their arms off each other. Maddison playing it inside the penalty. It was a really poor free kick. It wasn't worth the wait. Johnson knocked it away. Comes back out to James Justin. He's played it down towards Soinchu. Drifted out towards the left-hand side. Across it takes a deflection, but is then headed away easily enough. And Soinchu's in strongly again, but Johnson has beaten him, and now he'll take on James Justin in the foot race, and it's a good foot race as well, because they are both quick. Justin did well, he stuck to his task, puts it out of play for a throw.
I'm surprised how naive James Maddison was there. You know, it worked in the first half from the corner. Ademola Lookman got his shot in, it was pulled back, you mentioned it in commentary. Jed Spence was all over that, it was never on, and I don't understand why James Maddison's trying it. It's just a waste of a set piece situation.
Soinchu volleys it clear. Forrest winning it back again on the right-hand side of the midfield with Ryan Yates. Chipped over the top by him. Spence takes it down towards the corner flag. Thomas playing at centre-half now, stands with him and has done well to emerge with the ball as Jed Spence. The talent he's already is. I was going to say he's going to be, already is.
He is. A cheeky little nutmeg there as well.
He's now got the ball in his hand. It's going to be a throw which will be taken over on that far touchline by Nottingham Forest, leading this by 3-1, 2 in barely a minute, just past the midway stage of the first half. They added a third 8 minutes later, and then Leicester throwing themselves a lifeline 5 before the break. Spence trying to find a way through, big appeals for handball, nothing given. There's no VAR in this game, being a championship venue. Leicester with an opportunity to bring it forward, just working in towards the feet of Maddison, edge of the area. Lowe's getting shot from him, wasn't too far wide. Samba dived to his left-hand side, was at full stretch, couldn't get there, but seemingly had his angles right. The ball went past the post and out of play for a goal kick. 3-1 on TalkSport.
Warning signs there. Daka has come on the pitch for Leicester City, using his pace down the left-hand side, gets the ball, cuts inside, plays a square ball to Maddison. Maddison's first touch, you know what he's going to try and do. He bends it on the floor towards the far corner. It's probably a yard wide. It's a great effort, good play.
Marty wins the free kick. He was just pulled back there by Zinkenagel, and there is beginning to be a different feel to this cup tie now. Ndidi back for Soinchu, out towards Thomas. Thomas down the left hand side for James Justin. Back to Justin from Daka. Thomas again to James Maddison here, who's just giving a little shove, but play goes on.
They look more comfortable with this shape, Jim. You know, I mentioned it first half. I felt that Steve Cooper changing his shape to a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 in that first half, he almost outmanoeuvred Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers has switched onto that now. He's changed it. He's gone to a 3 at the back, and Leicester City look much more competitive and composed in possession.
Marty playing it down the right-hand touchline. Lookman's got it inside the penalty area, away from McKennery, and Ancho, right-hand side of the box, turns it back onto his left foot, and it's fired over the bar from Daka, but it's another sight of goal. Just wonder whether Ian Ancho might pull the trigger himself in pretty favourable position, but elected to pull it back for Patson Daka, just slightly behind him, and he had to turn and fired the shot over the bar. The Zambian has been a really good goal-scoring form. He's netted in each of his last 3 Premier League appearances, 9 goals in 19 games for Leicester, including the 4 that he scored at Spartak Moscow. First Foxes player to score 4 in a game for more than 60 years.
Yeah, good play between the two strikers there, linking up really well, showing they've got that chemistry. Good disguise by Kalichi. Looks like he's going to pull his right foot, the trigger with his right foot, chops inside, plays a nice weight of pass to Daka. Daka just gets it all wrong, shoots over the bar, but again encouraging stuff from Leicester City. They look much more comfortable at the back as well in a 3 centre-halves. I'm not sure if I was picking a team I'd feel comfortable playing Sionchu in a 4 with just 2 central defenders, but in a 3 I feel a lot more comfortable in that.
Maddison, back for Soinchu, last FA Cup holder to go out against lower division opposition was Arsenal 4 years ago, beaten here by Nottingham Forest 4-2. It ended that day. I think back to relatively few occasions this happened. People of my generation will always remember the Bournemouth-Manchester United victory back in early 1984. And Bournemouth were in the bottom 6 of the 3rd division and beat the then holders Manchester United. Play's just stopped here. Garner putting it out of play because Davis has picked up a bang. I don't know whether he just got caught on his ankle there, and the way that he's sitting down pretty disconsolately wasn't particularly encouraging, but he is back on his feet. He's been helped up there by Amati without the need for treatment, and Leicester restore possession to Nottingham Forest very sportingly.
Yeah, good play that from Leicester.
Forest able to play forward here through Worrell, and he goes through to the goalkeeper. You might remember a game a few years ago now. It was a League Cup match between these two, and one of the Leicester players took ill at half-time. They had to abandon the game. Forest were leading at the time. The game got replayed, and Leicester sportingly gave Forest that 1 goal back right at the start of the replay game. Goalkeeper Paul Smith was allowed to make his way through unchallenged to score to restore the 1 goal advantage, although Leicester ended up winning by 3 goals to 2. It was Clive Clark was the player that had been affected.
Unfortunately, Jim, not everyone's got the same unbelievable memory as you. So I don't remember that.
Or access to Wikipedia, one or the other. Here's Davis, played it forward now for Forest. A sliding chance comes in from Ndidi. That was a poorly timed one on Zinkernagel. But Paul Tierney's kept his card in his pocket, but it is a free kick on the edge of the centre circle to Nottingham Forest, who lead this one by 3 goals to 1 on TalkSport.
Yeah, it's a naughty challenge that. He gets wrong side, Zinkernagel. He's caused all kinds of problems. Got wrong side, and indeed he's never going to get there, and he stretches his leg out. We've seen him do it so many times successfully, but he gets nowhere near it here. And Paul Tierney is doing the right thing, because I thought that was a really poor challenge. He's getting his yellow card out for Ndidi, and rightly so.
Yeah, thought about it, gave himself plenty of thinking time, but has now produced the yellow card for Wilfred Ndidi to the delight of the Nottingham Forest faithful. They've been pretty delighted with everything they've seen. A reminder of the draw, incidentally. If you didn't hear it earlier, the winners of this one at home to Huddersfield. Elsewhere, it's Palace against Stoke, Man City are at Peterborough, Tottenham are at Middlesbrough, Chelsea go to Luton, Southampton at home to West Ham, Liverpool's reward for beating Cardiff live on TalkSport earlier is a tie at home to Norwich, and Bournemouth and Boreham Wood square up later on the South Coast. Winners of that one go to Everton. We'll keep you updated with everything that happens from Dean Court over the course of the afternoon in Darren Bent's boot room, which will give you the chance to have your say on the weekend's action, and also keep you abreast of what's going on in the African Cup of Nations final as well. It's his birthday today, Darren. Doesn't look 50, but wish him all the best from us. Bryce Samba's got it way to our right hand side. He's played it forward here towards Ghana. Ghana controls it, lays it back for Samba again, who clears it towards halfway. It's caught the breeze, which seems to be a little bit fiercer now, and that took it down towards Lookman. Leicester playing with the advantage of that breeze. Lookman's got it again. Foul by Ghana. No, referee put his arms behind his back straight away. I must admit, all I thought was, is it in or outside the penalty area? But Paul Tierney, much better placed than me, gave the expert view there was no foul at all. Zinkernagel now working for it at the other end. Johnson, good save. Sointu's first to the second ball and hammers it away. Forest very quickly on the counter-attack. High drama at one end. Could have been a penalty, could have been a free kick, could have been a goal at the other on the counter-attack. It remains 3-1. Zinkernagel back for Spence. Nottingham Forest 4, Leicester City 1. Jed Spence driving forward, played back in, slotted into the bottom left-hand corner. Surely no comeback now for cup holders Leicester City, who've conceded 4 in an hour. Half an hour to get 3 back without reply. It's Forest 4, Leicester 1. The Foxes hunted down by the men in red. Leicester just unable to quench this Forest fire.
I said it before the game, Jim, and they've kind of emphasised what I said and give me more confidence in that. Jed Spence is a Premier League player. He's got the quality to be a Premier League player. Him and Zinkernagel have got a fantastic relationship. He gives the ball into Zinkernagel, goes beyond him, gets it back, and it's a really composed finish. Oh, just looking at a clip there of the chance earlier for Johnson. It's a really composed finish into the corner with Danny Ward having no chance. 4-1. This game is going away from Leicester City.
Well, Forest are going to make a change. Defensive-minded one. It's Colback who's going to be coming on. May well be Zinkernagel who he will replace. It is. So a more defensive midfielder being introduced. Plenty of experience coming off the bench here. Zinkernagel's done well, played his part. He scored the opening goal. And now Joe Colback, who reached a couple of FA Cup quarter-finals back in his Sunderland days and played the League Cup final for them. Flamehead, man for the North Country's got to come on here. Big hug from Steve Cooper to Zinkernagel, who comes off. He's
been brilliant, been superb, affected the game massively. I'm just looking back at that goal again by Spence. He drives in on inside, gets the 1-2. The defenders don't live with him, but it's not only that, there's 2 players over to the left-hand side. If Spence wants to lay the ball to his left, there's 2 Forest players ready to tap it in, unmarked. Defensively, Leicester City are all over the gaff.
Well, Nottingham Forest aren't a prolific team. They've only scored 19 goals in 15 home games in the league this season. 1 was enough to see off Arsenal, and they scored 4 today inside 61 minutes against Leicester City. This is going to be a day they'll talk about in these parts for a long, long time. And they've also had that better defensive resolution as well, Steve Cook timing a challenge very well there on Patson Daka.
Yeah, Daka's asking him questions though. He's running in behind. What you have to do at times, you can't have the ball to feet all the time. It's too easy for defenders. I could play now if everyone wanted the ball to feet. He's coming to the ball, spinning off, running in behind, and he's causing problems and he's making the defenders work.
Madison's ball in, Sorenchu attacking him with a diving header near post under pressure from Davis, and he's headed it well wide. And Leicester are going to rotate the pack here. Keenan Dewsbury Hall is coming on, and so too Ricardo Pereira. So a double change. Lookman is one of the players being replaced.
Yeah, I thought that was a foul before on Lookman, but I thought the actual incident first happened outside of the box, and he ended up tumbling into the box. And I'm sure, Brendan Rodgers after the game will highlight that he thought that was a penalty before it went to 4-1. That could have made it 3-2, and that's what happens in football sometimes. It goes against you, and I feel on that occasion it did go against Leicester City.
Well, Brendan Rodgers taking off Lookman and Tielemans, and I just wonder, I'm not remotely suggesting that is the white flag being raised. Neither have had the influence that they would want, but is he looking ahead to the match at Liverpool now and thinking that this one is pretty much done? They need 3 goals in some 26 minutes to even take this to extra time. I wonder whether that's part of the thinking behind his substitution.
Well, Tielemans, I was surprised he came back out after half-time. I highlighted him as being so passive in that midfield, and the reason why Nottingham Forest was so in charge of this football game. Ndidi, yeah, he always competes. Tielemans did not compete for me, and you have to do that if you're playing in that 6 role or 4 role. He didn't do that, and I just didn't like his attitude. He looked like he wasn't interested. He didn't want to be here, and I was surprised that Brendan Rodgers allowed him to stay on the pitch and come back out for the second half.
Well, Garnish is being spoken to by the referee, who has shown him a yellow card. Second player to have his name taken today, following Wilfred Ndidi. Leicester work it inside the penalty area. It's a ball that bounces a little bit awkwardly. Forest are able to hammer it away, and it goes out past Thomas for a throw that will be taken over on the Leicester left. Sorenchu, 15 yards inside his own half. You're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on TalkSport thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. And Sorenchu will play it forward, driving it out to the Leicester left. Justin can control it. It was a difficult one for him, but he's done so in an offside position. Free kick to Nottingham Forest. You'd think it's pretty much all over bar the shouting. Yeah. Forest 4, Leicester 1.
Especially when you're looking at the change in players, bringing off Lookman. He's not a wing back, he's not a full back, so I can understand why I'd want to bring on Ricardo Pereira in that position, because he's more used to playing in that position. But like I said before, Tielemans, it was non-existent in that first half, especially out of possession, and you really did need a midfield in that first half, Leicester City, and you just didn't have enough bodies in there.
Worrell takes this free kick, flighted forward, Davis nodding it on. Forest hungry for more, and they've got low in behind Pereira, and he hits a left-footed shot across the face of goal. Danny Ward doesn't have a save to make that time. It goes out of play for a goal kick.
Good hit though, good hit, good movement. It looked like he wanted it to feet, and as the defender looked at him, he darted down the side of him to get it in behind. Used his body well to shield the ball, got his shot off with his left foot, and it just whistled 2 or 3 yards past the far post. Excellent play again going forward by Forest.
Dewsbury Hall, blonde-haired midfielder who has become a permanent member of the first team squad over the course of this season, and exerted a good influence as well. Madison bringing it forward. Thomas to his left-hand side. Back for Madison again. And Ndidi showing for the ball on the edge of the centre circle. Now with Marty. Down towards Ricardo Pereira. Steve Cook there ahead of Patson Daka to get it clear from the edge of his own penalty area. Forward again from Ndidi, and Daka's touch is a little bit heavy. That allowed Lowe the chance to come back and clear his lines, but it's gone out of play for a Leicester corner, which will be taken on the right flank. Now 3-0 became 3-1 within 8 minutes. Leicester needing a quick reply to the 4-1 goal now, just to give them a little bit of hope that they are going to be able to mount some form of very unlikely comeback in the last quarter of this game. Maddison to take it. It's an away swinger towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Davis, the free man inside the penalty area, can head it away again. Back it comes from Ricardo Pereira. Maddison to James Justin. Couldn't beat Colback, but Colback forced to concede another corner.
Yeah, good defending, good realisation, good urgency there from Colback. Fresh on the field, you want him to make a positive impact. He made sure he tracked James Justin there, made sure he got goal side and anticipated that first touch. Defended it well.
So Maddison to take it. Another corner swung in towards the penalty spot. Headed away before it got to Ndidi. Thomas teasing it back over the top. Samba comes out, and another illustration of the swirling breeze. He didn't catch it, but he did slightly misjudge it. It got big on him quickly, and he had to fall back and take it with his hands above his head. But his handling was assured, and it remains 4-1.
Put the brakes on. I think if it was going to be a little bit shorter, you'd want him to be on his toes and on the front foot so he could try and compete with that first ball. It was a little bit deeper than he thought, and he had to just put the brakes on and maybe take a step back, but good goalkeeping.
Sointu finds his goalkeeper. McKenna getting it forward through the midfield, but Luke Thomas can pick it up. Sam Surridge is going to be coming on for his Nottingham Forest debut very shortly.
Wow.
Tall striker signed this week.
What does that tell you about the pattern of this game? Steve Cooper feels he's very comfortable and he's happy to bring on lads for debuts.
Maddison, great situation to acclimatise Surridge in after his £2 million move east from Stoke City this week. Former Bournemouth man. Here's Ricardo. Now towards Dewsbury Hall. James Maddison picks it up 30 yards from goal in a central position. It's turned one way, goes back the other. Dewsbury Hall flicking it into the feet of Iheanacho. Easily read though by McKenna. High clearance from him, brought down by Ndidi, because the wind made sure it didn't get any distance on it. Ricardo Pereira tries to knock it inside the box and it's cleared, and Ndidi scuffs it back in towards Dewsbury Hall. Cook can clear that one and hits it under the breeze, really. A low clearance with the top of his right boot, and he got good distance on that. Comes back again though. Maddison flicking it on down towards the right hand side of the penalty area where McKenna is there ahead of Iheanacho, and it goes out of play for a throw. Listen to the ovation that Davis gets. He hasn't scored, the striker, any of the 4 goals, but rightfully he gets a magnificent standing ovation from the Nottingham Forest supporters around us, and Surridge is on to replace him.
Yeah, he's had a huge influence. You look at him setting up the first goal, you look at his focal point, being able to use his body, always there. I said in the first half, what he does really well, Keenan Davis, he gets the ball to his feet, he holds the defender off, he finds another red shirt, and then he gets in the offers. That's what you want from a traditional number 9 when you're playing one up top on his own. He's done that superbly well and deserved that round of applause from the home fans.
Surridge is probably almost as tall as him. He's not as heavily built as Keenan Davis.
Slight, yeah, he's quite slight.
He's had a decent start of the season at Stoke, but went 15 games without a goal after that before making his move. He did play in the FA Cup quarter-finals last season with Bournemouth, where he was a teammate of Steve Cook, who he's linked up again with here.
Yeah, Steve Cook's got trust in him, obviously, because there's still 20 minutes to go or just under. So he must be a competent operator, intelligent player, will know his role in the side.
Sointu played forward towards Dewsbury Hall, headed away by McKenna on the edge of the penalty area. Leicester turn it forward again towards Ricardo Pereira. Pereira all left foot, sets it up for Daka, but he plays it over the bar. Yates making his life difficult by throwing himself into the line of fire as quickly as he could, and it goes out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Samba away to our right hand side. You would talk sport. Jim Proudfoot and Trevor Sinclair talking through the action. 72 gone. It's Forest 4, Leicester 1.
Yeah, Daka there, I thought he had every right to shoot there, probably about just on the cusp of 25 yards out. Got it onto his left foot, but just led back. Try and work the goalkeeper, keep it down, hit the target. You never know, something might bounce on him. He's already made an error today when you look at Bryce Samba's performance.
There's a lovely backheel flick into the path of Spence, who motors forward, but Sointu had enough of a head start just to get there first, and blocked Spence's touch, put it out of play for a throw. If Spencer got past Sointu there,
I wouldn't like to have seen what would have happened.
Or in the dressing room after.
Probably.
There's a throw which will be taken by Spence over on that far touchline. This is one of those days that it might take Leicester a bit of time to pick themselves up from it. It's been a very poor performance. Here's Johnson. He's flicked off Thomas and out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the far touchline. More live sport coming up for you next weekend. Of course, as the Premier League returns, and we've got round the ground action coming up for you over the course of this week as well on Tuesday and Wednesday, as a yellow card is shown there for a rash challenge. Was it James Justin? I think was the perpetrator of it over on that far touchline. Was it a long way from here?
Yeah, because I thought it was Maddison to start with, and I thought he'd already been booked.
Free kick's going to be taken by Forest over on the right. So Colback waits on the edge of the penalty area. Spence is about 10 yards outside the box, but most of those in red are in the penalty area ready to attack this. Three centre-halves are all forward. Surridge is in there as well, so too Yates. Right-footed ball swung in, it was well attacked by Cook. Couldn't get his head to it. Loose ball breaks to Johnson. Midway between the left-hand side of the penalty area and the touchline. What a turn! And then he's turned away past Daka again. Lays it back for Colback. Colback's forced away by Dewsbury Hall. He just maintains possession. Finds Steve Cook. Cook in there strongly, wins a 50-50 with Ndidi. It's helped on by Garner, and now down towards Surridge. And Surridge will take it down towards the corner flag. Cross that lack power. Hits the heels of Sointu, who's got time to bring it under control. It'll be played by Amati, out of harm's way for Leicester. Daka, poor touch from him. Run back by Lowe, who feeds Colback. Back to Steve Cook, an experienced centre-half, trying to Beckenbauer his way forward up the field. Didn't get too far. Forest then win it back and do well with Yates. As Yates brings it forward, play stops. Because a Forest player has gone down with a head injury, and the other Forest players are saying, he's all right, you should have let us play on. But he's lying stricken on the edge of the centre circle. I think they want a yellow card as well. Again,
Paul Tierney for a head injury, stopping play straight away. You have to give him credit for that, because you want to see if the player's okay. If he's not, you want to get that medical staff on straight away. I'm going to go early on this, but James Garner's deliveries remind me of David Beckham's. He's got that dip and that whip, and it causes so many problems. The pace on the ball, he's putting it on a sixpence every time. The advantage is with the attackers, because they know where he's aiming depending on what signal he puts up. It is an absolutely phenomenal cross that he's got in the locker.
James Garner putting the defenders between Rockford and a hard place. Cue looks of mystery from the youngsters around this, Trevor.
Yes.
Free kick to be taken by Colback. Just a bit of housekeeping, incidentally. It was Maddison, you were right, rather than Justin, that picked up that last yellow card for Leicester City. Ball played forward here by Colback. Then the left-hand side of the penalty area is over everybody, and McKenna was furious. I think Yates took the responsibility to go up for it and didn't get there. And it's gone out of play for a goal kick that'll be taken by Ward. 13 to go. And Leicester City, the cup holders, are heading out. Forest set fair to book a fifth round tie at home to Huddersfield. Have won only 7 FA Cup ties in the last 13 years. But this is some run that they're going on now. They've seen off Arsenal, they're going to be seeing off Leicester today. They lead it by 4 goals to 1 with 77 played. Yeah,
and they've thoroughly deserved the lead that they've got. I think they've been outstanding from the goalkeeper, apart from that one error. He's been good with the way he's kicked the ball out and found his teammates. I think you look at the back three, they've been so tight, communication between them. As a unit, they've looked really solid. And then going through the lines, you know, every man to a T has been superb for Nottingham Forest today. But Jed Spence and Johnson, unplayable. And Leicester City, as a whole, individually, have not known what to do with them.
The handball by Maddison has stopped their latest attack. Just 1 or 2 Leicester fans beginning to file out away to our right-hand side. I've seen enough and want to beat the traffic. Some 25 miles down the road. Free kick taken by Samba. Played by Ndidi out towards James Justin on the far touchline. He's hoisted it forward optimistically. It's returned by Worrell. Then with another header from Dewsbury Hall. McKenna heads it again. He goes out to the left-hand side for Maddison, and Spencer's in there very strongly. There's the Leicester ball over on that far touchline.
Got the needle, hasn't he? He has got the needle, Maddison. If I was a Nottingham Forest player, you'd be trying to just chip away at him, see if you can get a reaction from him. Not cheating, trying to tackle him, trying to be physical with him, see if you can get a reaction.
We'll get the teams from Bournemouth against Boreham Wood in a moment, but firstly, this free kick taken by Maddison. Dacker's the target of it. Got himself isolated against Lowe, but it was the Forest player that won it in the air. Soinju then heads it down. It's played back again towards Ricardo Pereira. He swings it wide, finding Maddison. Right-footed ball in from him is easily headed away by Worrell. Surridge turning it forward. He knows that Johnson is quick, but Justin's positioning was good enough, and he was there to be able to knock it back to Danny Ward. Ball played down the Leicester left. Dewsbury Hall thought he won a corner, but it's a goal kick which Samba will take, and Forest are 10 minutes away from a place in round 5 for the first time since 2014. It will be only the second time in 17 years that they've made it through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. And when you've beaten Arsenal and you've beaten Leicester, you fancy your chances against Huddersfield, with no disrespect. It'll be a different type of game. Huddersfield in decent form as well, but nevertheless Forest will be eyeing up this cup run and thinking that place in the quarterfinals could be theirs. 4-1 they lead here with 9.5 to go. Samba playing it out towards McKenna. Now forward again from Lowe, but it was a poor clearance from him which deflected into the path of Dewsbury Hall. Ricardo Pereira able to bring the ball forward for Leicester into the feet on the edge of the penalty area of Daka. Played back then by Iheanacho to Ricardo Pereira again. Colback comes back. It's flicked off his foot. He stopped it going out of play for a corner initially, but then under pressure from Ricardo Pereira he couldn't turn it away, and it will be a Leicester corner, their 5th of this second half on this near touchline. Maddison coming across to take it.
I think Colback did well there. For me, it came off the attacking play. That should have been a goal kick. But linesman saw it differently.
Maddison to take it. More air underneath this one. Soinju coming to meet it. Didn't get anything on it. Breaks for Justin. He's gone back for Thomas. Luke Thomas chipping it forward. Looking for Iheanacho, but he was offside. Left-footed volley comes in as it's half cleared, and Marty struck it really sweetly, but Samba diving down to his right-hand side showed a good pair of hands to keep it at 4-1.
Yeah, brilliant save. It's probably 25 yards out on the volley. I thought it might catch the goalkeeper by surprise, but Bryce Samba got down to his right-hand side low and made the ball stick. Fantastic save.
There's a goal that prevented Amati marking his 100th Leicester game with a goal. Good save. Attendance just short of 29,000 here today.
Full house, isn't it?
Yeah,
pretty much.
And most of them have really enjoyed it. Those that haven't, really haven't. Here's Worrell.
And a tough one.
Worrell chipping it forward. Handed away by Thomas, and Justin will help it down the left-hand touchline, but Forest have won a lot of second ball and do so again here. Cook helping it forward. Too much on that for Surridge, and it will go all the way through to the goalkeeper away to our left-hand side. Ward bowling it out quickly for Amati. Now to Ricardo Pereira. Pereira back towards the edge of his own penalty area for Amati. Leicester have won their last 5 ties at this stage. They're last defeat to a non-Premier League team. Painful one at Newport County a few years back in the 3rd round. And this one more painful in its own way, I suppose, on the basis of who it is that has done the damage against them. And the margin of victory as well. Still time for Leicester to at least add a semblance of respectability to it. Ball over the top, could get worse though yet. Here's Surridge, left-hand side of the penalty area, chasing the long ball that's played forward. Garner is up very quickly for him in support. He's laid it back for Lowe. Lowe to Colback. Colback goes deeper towards McKenna. McKenna finding Steve Cook. The Olays are out from the Forest fans now. Worked forward by Cook. It's headed down by Thomas. Played forward through the midfield by Soinju. And now down towards Ricardo Pereira again on the Leicester City right-hand side. Iheanacho dropping deep, picks up the ball and then comes forward quickly. Good injection of pace from him. Dewsbury Hall to Luke Thomas, to Maddison. Maddison trying to turn, forced back by Colback, who's done a very effective screening job since he's come on.
Yeah, 11 men behind the ball now, just trying to see the game out. Good management of the game up till now from Forest. You know, just forcing little errors like that from the Leicester players, winning the ball. Can you win a foul or just win a little throw-in like that? You know, they've been really good. You talk about championship players and the IQ that is raised when you go to the Premier League. That's why I feel that a lot of these players, a lot of these young Forest players have got the potential to play up there because their IQ has been top draw. It really has.
Well, they have a throw, which is going to be taken by Max Lowe, who once played in the Scottish Cup semi-final. Thrown at the left-hand touchline, it bounces back to Dewsbury Hall, and then Ricardo Pereira can win a throw off Colback. Forest going to be shuffling the pack in a moment. Cafu's going to come on.
That gives me shivers, that name. I remember getting out of his pocket.
Yeah, it's not that Cafu. Although I think he'd relish the opportunity to play in this Forest team. There's Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall working it back for Amati. Xandi Silva is the other Forest player that's going to be brought on in a moment. Soinchu played it down towards Amati, missed him, but Ricardo Pereira was able to retrace his steps down the touchline in order to win it back. It's back for Amati again. Amati's 10 yards outside the penalty area, goes back behind square for Ndidi. Ndidi to James Maddison. Maddison down to the Leicester right-hand side for Daniel Amati, who's put under a little bit of pressure from Surridge, but can work it back for Chala Soinchu. Don't forget your chance to react to all of the weekend's football with Darren Benton, the boot room, which follows the end of this game. And also tomorrow, the TalkSport Sports Breakfast, a real heavyweight affair. Eddie Hearn is in the studio. Joe Paul and Katie Taylor there as well. That's all with Laura Woods, Ali McCoist and Jamie O'Hara on TalkSport Breakfast tomorrow morning. And a reminder of that live football coming up for you over the course of the week. The best around the grounds coverage on Tuesday and Wednesday with Adrian Durham in the chair on both occasions. Still Forest haven't made that double change. Are they going to do so now? They've got the two players ready. Cafu and Xandi Silva stripped and ready for action, but Forest are just going to continue themselves with Steve Cook taking this free kick. Play down the left-hand side of the penalty area, cleared, and Garner with a snapshot drills it wide from 25 yards.
Why not? He's earned the right, 4-1 up. That it just might be the stars have aligned, and you catch that perfectly, and it flies in. And this City ground erupts. Not quite.
It might be Garner's last contribution, because I think he might be one of the players that is going to be coming off in a moment.
Been super impressive in tight areas. He seems to have the solutions, works things out really well. The set pieces have been phenomenal.
And now belatedly the changes will be made. Cafu is coming on for James Garner. And again, a standing ovation. He turns, acknowledges the applause, and turns to three sides of this ground. And Xandi Silva is coming on, and he's going to replace Brennan Johnson, who has also added to his considerable reputation this afternoon.
Yeah, I just seen Steve Cooper giving him a little cuddle and having a little chat with him, having a little chuckle. It's one of them days, and again Johnson's coming off as well. He's been untrue, local lad. Just hear the fans there singing he's one of our own. Phenomenal performance from the young man. Brilliant.
Dewsbury Hall playing it forward. Daka might be able to get in there. It was slightly overhit, and Bryce Samba came towards the edge of his own penalty area and was able to field it. You're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on TalkSport. It's thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo on the day that Liverpool have made it through, but cup holders Leicester are going out, and they're going out with a thump. Surridge chasing a long ball that's played forward from his goalkeeper. He was just hoping that it was going to get a flick on from Xandi Silva. It didn't quite, and rolled away from Surridge through towards Danny Ward. It's been all over as a contest since Jed Spence gave Forest a 3-goal lead just past the hour mark. At 4-1, there was no way back for Leicester City. Both sides not quite going through the motions since then, but it's lacked the intensity that it had before that. No jeopardy really. Dewsbury Hall's lost it. Play forward now intelligently down the Forest right-hand side. Surridge is making his way into the middle. Silver's got it. Will he be able to deliver? He's pulled it back instead towards Spence. Spence doesn't fire it inside the penalty area. Back for Shandy Silver. Great touch from him. He took it one way round Luke Thomas, passed it one way round him and round the other. But Leicester are able to get it away. Cook at the other end of the field, finding Worrell. He finds touch via a deflection, and it's a throw which will be taken over on the Nottingham Forest right-hand side. I think that was Brennan Johnson being announced as the sponsors man of the match here.
Yeah,
hard to argue, although there have been a number of stellar performances.
Could have been many players in a red shirt. They've been that good. They really have. Detail, hard work, technical ability, end products, winning 50-50 battles, individual battles all over the pitch. They've been outstanding to a man.
3 additional minutes to be played. We're in them now. Forest fans singing of Wembley. A little bit premature, but they are going through to the quarter-finals. Big appeal for a penalty there as Sointu and Surridge both attack the same ball.
I'm just looking at Brendan Rodgers and imagining what he's thinking about Sointu's performance tonight.
Leicester can bring it forward. Ricardo Pereira towards the edge of the penalty area, inside the box, and fires it just, and I mean just, wide. That was close. Samba beaten, but no consolation goal for Leicester. 4-1 Forest.
Yeah, just looking at performers, I thought the left wing back Max Lowe's been exceptional. He just got Meg there on the shot, which is a decent area for a forward to aim for, because it usually just nestles inside that far post, but he's quietly gone about his business. His positional sense is good. He's been good in possession, and just there he was just a little bit short, didn't get tight enough, and was fortunate that didn't nestle in the bottom corner.
Just at the start of the second of the 3 additional minutes. Sointu heads away. Leicester back inside their own half. Sointu gets the play back to him and then can play it forward towards halfway. Worrell stepping up from the defensive line, trying to find a way through past Wilfred and Didi, which proved impossible.
Not many do.
Ricardo Pereira launching it forward. Steve Cook with another excellent defensive header, gets it away, and Didi waved back to his feet by Colback. Forest won it back and then lost it straight away. Ian Acho to Madison, right hand side of the box, trying to take it down towards the byline and find a way through past McKenna, who's fouled him, and it's a free kick to Leicester about a yard from the dead ball line, just outside the penalty area, and a chance to score a second right at the end of the game.
Yeah, good play from Madison, breaking lines with runs off the ball, just going in behind the left wing back there. Max Lowe got there first, looked like he was outnumbered 2 against 1, and managed to just conjure his way through the pair of them and win the foul just by the bar line, about 5 yards outside the 18-yard box. Dangerous position, but this game's done.
Driving rain starts up again. Madison flicking it towards the penalty spot, teased in towards Justin. Touch from a Forest defender, takes it back outside the penalty area. It's another ball inside the box, and that's volleyed away emphatically by Yates and chased after by Cafu. Cafu picking it up, he looked up and he saw Shandy Silver in a great position, but he was about 10 yards offside, so he couldn't play it. Played back instead towards Lowe. He guides it forward towards Surridge, and he's got the last kick. Well, it's a roar that speaks volumes. 2021 was Leicester City's year. For the first time ever, lifting the most famous knockout cup in world talk domestic football, but their defence of the trophy in 2022 has ended in ignominious style. They were battered in the first half here by local rivals Nottingham Forest on a day they will talk about in these parts for many years. 3 goals in a 9-minute spell did the damage, and although Leicester pulled one back, Jed Spence sealed it just past the hour mark. Forest, fantastic. Leicester, loose, languid and beaten. Forest 4, Leicester City 1.